welcome back to Fun Freeman Friday. This is Crafting with Crystal. I'm Crystal and we'll be getting into some crafts today. So, since Easter is coming up, we've decided that we will be doing this cute little bouncy bunny one. It is extremely easy to make, and all I'm doing is rolling up this bottom part so I can show you first what we're doing. See. So that's what we will be doing. I know this is more of like a kid's craft, but hopefully our families are coming together for April and you'll be able to do something fun with the kiddos. So the things that you're going to need for this particular craft are tape, not hot glue, scissors, a pen or pencil, and a Sharpie marker. Glue, of course. We'll need a battery of some sort. I have a AA battery. AAA batteries might not work as well, so keep that in mind. And then this little rubber band. We want one that's going to fit comfortably over this battery here without having extra room on the ends. That's going to be the best type of rubber band to work. You'll need 2 cups here. They can be any kind of material as long as they have this little lip. It'll be a whole lot easier when you're attaching your bottom part. And then of course your construction paper, your printer paper, whatever kind of paper that you want to create your little face out of. So it's gonna be really short, really quick, kind of difficult if you have a little bit of trouble working with your hands, but I'll show you the best way that I know how. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 cups apart and we're going to mark really quickly the center of each side here. So you're going to mark that all the way here at the top so you can see it, and just travel across and mark the other side. So they should be fairly even when you put them together. My mark's right there, my mark's right there, so that would be my midway point. Now on either side of this little marking that I've put, I'm going to, so to the either side of this, maybe about 1/2 inch to 1 inch, you're going to cut on either side of this. Okay. And it's just going to kind of roll up like that. So I just cut it on either side. It doesn't have to be exact as long as the other side somewhat matches. They're probably not going to be even, but if you know this channel already, you know what I'm gonna say. We love our mistakes here. We love any kind of errors or anything that happens, so we can show you what happens when you do make a mistake. Fortunately, my other one was not centered, but it worked just like you saw earlier. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. You don't wanna go too high up here. I'll show you that I just went just above that little lip there, just enough so that I could roll it upwards just a tad bit. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Oh no, a little too much. Here we go. I did do a little too much on this side, but that's okay. It's gonna roll up just the same. So we have that. Now we're going to add our second cup, just to make sure that it looks centered. One on this side, one on that side. Looks pretty centered to me, right? Next thing that we're gonna do is set that to the side, and we're going to take our rubber band and battery, and we're going to stick it so that it is wrapped around the battery as even as you could possibly get it. Right there. And then you're going to tape down that rubber band. might shift on you a bit. This is what I meant about the slightly difficult part. The rubber band might move. You want to try to keep it as center as you possibly can. I'm just grabbing little pieces of paper and kind of moving my way down. Okay, so it's still pretty center there. Tape all the way around, pretty center there. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab 1 to 2 more pieces and just reinforce it, if you will. All right. So once we have that, we're going to grab our little lipped cup here, place this under. You're going to grab the end of the rubber band that's at the end of the battery, and you're going to pull it over. I can't show you while I'm doing this unless I have it correct. You're going to pull it over. I can't really. There we go. Go over that side, please. There it goes. So now it is hanging on the inside of that little lip there. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Stretch it out. Put it over that lip. Okay, so now it should look like this. It's kind of pulling these little things inwards. That's okay. It will stretch out a little bit. You can roll it up a little more and pull on either side so that they're not coming in as much. It won't matter too much that it's not sticking all the way in or out. It's just something that I noticed that helped it. If it does tend to go in a little bit like that, it's completely okay. So we're going to add our cup on top. What we're going to do now is we're going to test it. So to reinforce it here, I'm going to go ahead and roll it back up and tape it down. So I've taped it up. Same thing with this side. I'm going to roll it back up to where it was before and tape it down. This part might not matter as much, but you always want to try everything. Place my cut back on top. So I can see that it's not quite sitting fully out of the cup like it needs to be, but it should still work, so let's give it a try. You're just going to roll it, roll it, roll it. Make sure that they don't fall off of the sides there. See if I can do this at the same time. I'll hold that down so that it doesn't move. It's moving. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it on the table and as quickly as I can remove my hand. Let me see if I can adjust this so that you can see it as I'm doing it. So I'm going to just tossed it down. Hopefully it stayed rolled up. Here we go. So make sure that you test it before you start adding all of your little details on it, because you want to make sure that it moves. And if it doesn't move, then you want to either raise these things a little bit or reinforce them a little more. Again, as long as you can see the battery underneath the cup, that's all that we're looking for. So that when you set it down, the battery doesn't start twisting immediately. It might twist in a second when you set it down, but if you wind it up enough, you'll still have enough room. So we got the base. Now for the fun, easy part. This is the hard part. If you've gotten this far, congratulations, you're basically 90% there. All we're doing is we're adding the little tidbits to it. Of course, the face, the ears, the nose, and the whiskers. So yay, it's technically done. You just need to decorate. So I'll show you how I make my bunny ears. But first, let me see if I can, here we go. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where the edge of the cup is on either side. Basically, there you go. So there's the edges. So from here, I am only going to bring it in just a little bit, maybe about 1/2 inch, so about 1/2 knuckles width, and make another line on either side. So bring it in, oh, there's a pen there, about 1/2 inch right there. So now I have those 4 lines. From those 4 lines, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it like this. Let's see if this helps. From those 4 lines, let's see if I can do this backwards. If I can't, don't say anything. But we're just going to elongate these. So you can make them as big or as small as you want. There. Now, if you're smart, you'll cut out this and then just place it over this and just retrace it. If you have trouble thinking like I do, you're just going to draw another one there. But since we're trying to be smart, let me go ahead and cut this out, and then I'll recut it out right next to it. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but it won't matter too much if you cut in or outside of the lines. Preferably do it inside of the lines because you're going to see the pin on the back or the front, depending on where you're doing this, or how you're doing it. There's one ear. Just going to set it right there. Oh, look at that. That was almost perfect to my lines. Woo! So good. Set it there. Instead of tracing it, I am just going to cut it out. If you do it this way, your ears will seem more symmetrical and it'll be easier to cut out the inner pink part. So now we have symmetrical ears. What we're going to do now, since they're both the same, we're going to place it on our pink and draw an outline. Okay, so this should be the outline of our bunny ear. What am I going to do to that? I don't want it to be the same size as my bunny ear, so I'm going to draw another line just in the middle of it, how big I want my pink inside of my ear. Just kind of like a leaf. And I'm going to cut out only that inner one. So I only cut out that inner piece. If I want this symmetrical, since my ears are already symmetrical, I'm just going to go ahead and replace this on here. I just cut off a section because it's harder to work with the bigger paper. And I'm going to cut around it. Two symmetrical ears. So now that we have our inner ear and our outer ear, we're just going to place it on. Oh, I traced it the other way. You can tell which way I did it. And there you go. So you'll just glue that down. Your little glue stick, Put it all over the back of your white bunny ear. I mean, your pink inner ear. My gosh, I can't talk today. And then you're just going to center it. There we go. Stick together. So I'm going to repeat this with the other ear, obviously, but once we're done with that, since I left this little square bottom here, I'm just going to fold it up. Just folding it up just a tiny bit. Very tiny. And that little lip is what we're going to use to attach it to our cup here. So let's see if I made these a decent size. Same thing with this one, fold up the bottom part. Stay down, glue. Here we go. And of course you're going to want to center it on your battery so that it's moving forward and not sideways. So these little flaps here, we're going to go ahead. These little lips, we're going to put glue on and press it down. They are crossing a little, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move one over. See if that helps it not do that. Oh, they're still pretty close. I could have made them just a tiny bit smaller, but or I could have made them like I did this and had them come out. But I didn't. So new way. Woohoo! Okay, still going forward. Now we're going to take any little bit of our scrap piece of paper. If you have scraps, I like to reuse all my scraps, even the tiniest bits, so that I can reduce, reuse, recycle. I am just going to cut out a small triangle. I do mean triangle, I'm not going to round it. You can round it, did do it here, didn't turn out so well for me though, but because I can't draw. Who knows? I'm gonna put glue on it. Center it. Here we go. And then, still using the same piece of paper. I want to try to use as little as possible so I can save the rest of this for another project. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it over here like that and create the eyes. I like big, huge eyes. I think they make things look more innocent, wide-eyed wonder, if you will. And they are not even. These ones, with the eyes, I would say don't worry about making them symmetrical. Unless you want them to look symmetrical, but I tend to think that children's characters or things that children like tend to be just a little bit off. You can tell that there's something wrong, but you can't quite put a finger on it. With this one, it's pretty easy to tell what's wrong with it. Obviously, one eye is bigger than the other, but I like cartoon faces, so that was going to happen. I'm going to press and hold it for about 10 seconds. You could probably use like a tacky glue and, you know, not have to hold it down as long. But we didn't do that this time. We are using our regular school glue because I'm assuming that's what most people have at home. Try to do crafts that involve stuff that you might just have lying around so you don't have to go out and buy it. So we've got a little face now. So here is the final part of it. Sharpie pen. shift again so you can see. I'm going to show you as I'm going along, if I can. There's my inner eye there. And there's my inner eye there. I'm gonna go ahead and create a little catch light for the bunny, like it's a sweet little innocent thing. And then I'm just going to fill in the rest of it. One eye. I did not yield. Okay, so we have our face here. Now all we're going to do is add this cute little W for his mouth. Add some whiskers, just kind of stroke it off. All right, so that was it. We have two bunnies here officially. You can see this one probably is going to work a little bit better than this one because I took my time with it. But we don't have that luxury during video time. So hopefully you can see both. Take your time whenever you're doing it. Pause, rewind, take a look, make notes if you need to. I don't know if that's how you work, but we're going to make sure that it works one more time. So you're just going to make sure that the battery is still kind of centered. Mine seems to be coming in a little bit, but that's okay. Press down on those tape. Start rolling it up. You want it to roll forward, so you're going to roll the battery backward, if that makes sense. So we rolled it backwards. Hopefully I can show you this time what I'm doing. Holding on to it to make sure that it's not moving, setting one side of it down, and then flopping it out. It did come undone a little bit. I heard it, but it should still go. Let's see. It unrolled a lot of it. So the first time that I tried this also, it was a little difficult to make sure that the bunny moved the way I wanted it to. Its hops were a little bit off and it wasn't moving forward so much as it was bouncing. So you may take a few times to get this correct as far as placement and the rubber band and the battery. We'll get there. So we have our two working bunnies here. They look vastly different. I gave this one freckles just because I thought he was cute. But that was our craft today. It's super easy, super simple. The hardest part was really just cutting the cup and getting the tape on the Band-Aid. Why do I keep saying Band-Aid? Getting the tape on the rubber band onto the battery. Which can take some time, may take some getting used to. You do want it to be equal on both sides. If you take down the rubber band and it's not equal on both sides, it will start slipping forward or backwards whenever you're rolling the battery up, and it will just hop in place. It won't move anywhere because it's just coming undone off of the side. If that makes any sense. It's a little hard to describe the many failures that I had trying to do this craft. So hopefully you're able to do it with your kids. You're able to have a good whatever you're celebrating for April and get to do this fun craft. So if you have any suggestions for us, crafts that you'd like to see, crafts that you'd like to do, crafts that you'd like to learn, please comment on the video, let us know. Contact us here at the library and see if you can put in a suggestion. And I'm so sorry, I know it's been a while since we last did a crafting with Crystal. I did take a minor break, but we're back up and we are performing this year, so we will do one once a month as long as we're capable. And again, let me know your ideas, whether you had fun doing this or not, whether it was too hard, whether it was too easy, and other things that you might like to do. So again, I was Crystal. Still am. I'm always Crystal, and this was Crafting with Crystal for our Fun Freeman Friday. So if you had fun, please comment. And then I'll come back next month when we do our next craft. Hope y'all have a great day. First move over so that you can see what I'm doing. They might still come in a little bit, but as long as I really hope that didn't get rid of anything. Okay. I'm not recording. Oh, I am. Oh. I may have if I was in full screen or not, who knows. My scraps. Go with my scraps. Scrappy, 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 scrappy. What do you want? This is incredibly hard to do sideways, but I do it pretty well. Perseverance. I'll just get down here.